What's up guys, I'm John White here, and we're going to learn some basics of color correcting in Photoshop, and we're pretty much going to make this picture, and we're going to have started with this picture. So I mean, it's a pretty clear difference with what we did. We just fixed up the colors, and I'm just going to basically show you how to do that. It's pretty basic, and we're going to do it all in Photoshop, so let's get going. Alright, move this to a new composition for you guys. Okay, so here's a picture I took yesterday actually at the lady's house, and was on trampoline, had a bunch of leaves, took a cool picture with the 50mm on the Canon. So as you can see, it's a little bright in the mids. There's really not any white in here. It's not overexposed, which is nice, so it's a lot to work with. But there's really not too much dark. There's a little bit over here in the leaves in the center, but that's about it. The rest kind of has a little bit of a grayish tone to it. So what I usually start off with is I go to my adjustments, which are over here. You can get to those by going to Window and clicking Adjustments. And there's two ways you can start off by doing this. You can either go right to your exposure, or you can do curves. Now usually exposure and the gamma correction, you can turn that up, will actually fix it and make it a little bit darker. So now you got your dark tones sticking out more. So you can usually start off right away with that. You usually don't have to go way over here with it, but you can if you want. You can just push it over a little. And now look, we've already fixed it quite a bit from the start. So now we're starting to see some of our green tones stick out, and some of the darks are starting to contrast that. So after that, I'll usually put a curves layer on, and I'll just boost the center. Don't want to go too much though. Just a little bit's good, and maybe put up some up at the bottom, and keep our top up. I'm going to really just contrast everything, so maybe I put the bottom down. There we go. Now we really got some bright and some dark shades. So turn this layer off, you can see the difference. And we'll turn the original layer. So that's all of our layers so far. We got our curves and an exposure. Now you can change this up either way. Doesn't really matter. It does make a difference in the overall, the way it takes it in, so the order does matter. Some cool things you can do, say I'll turn this curves off and I'll mess with my exposure. You can change the way the exposure blends. Now it says normal right here. You can click down on this and you can see, you can go to screen or any of the other ones. You can use your arrows on your keyboard to just kind of go through them. Some of them will do some cool effects, like the overlay seems to work. And then if I go back to normal, this is how it did look. So I can even just go to overlay, and then I really don't even have to go to my curves adjustment, to be honest. As you can see, it's very overexposed, and we don't want that. It's a little too much contrast. But what we can do is add some points, and we can turn down the brights a little bit because it's a little much right now. So, but what we don't want is we don't want it to kind of go gray. We just want to turn it down enough to kind of calm the picture down, and not take over. So we got that. As you can see, the ones in the back kind of got shut down, which is okay. And that'll work for that for right now. Some other things you can start doing now is you can use a curves adjustment for this next portion, or you can start messing with maybe a black and white. Now it may just be black and white, but we want to add a little bit of a tint to it. So we're gonna add the tint, and we'll just go with a red, since it's more, or an orange for kind of the mood. So there we go. And what we're gonna do for this is we're gonna change the blending mode. Let's kind of go up here and just start going through them until something that just kind of sits over it and doesn't take over the whole picture. A lot of these probably won't work, but you'll find one that does. So this one looks good. We're going to change the color maybe. Maybe something darker. Here we go. So it's starting to look good right now. And now we can start targeting what we want this to actually blend, so we can turn our reds down. And as you can see, our picture is really starting to stick out now, and we're really starting to get the whole thing to come together. Alright, cool. So that'll look good for right now. There's a lot of white, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to really fine tune everything. Here's how it was before. Added this, and if it's a little too much, you can always turn your opacity of that layer down too. So now we just got this slight tint. And what maybe if you want to just add a little bit so people can view the difference between the colors, just grab a square, add a black box, and duplicate that. Control J, and then just move it down. So now you got kind of like a widescreen style. And what it'll do is contrast your colors for you, so people can really pick out what actually is black and what isn't. So here's one of the ones I did before, and here's our original, and here's the new one. So it's quite a difference, and I think you guys will like this. You can do a lot with these adjustment layers. I'll do some more for you guys in the near future. In case you were wondering how I did get the style for this one, it's kind of got that tone to the red. I actually added a color balance adjustment layer. Let's see. Don't know where that was, but here it is. And I just kind of boosted up the reds here and there, and the mids, and made it a little yellow. Did the same for shadows, just a little though. And then the highlights, I think I made just a touch yellow. And I did some type of overlay. Here we go. And you can use either darken color or lighten, and I think those are the ones I used. But there you guys go. So now you figure out how to pretty much make multiple different styles, and now you can start working on making your own. So enjoy. I am John White. More tutorials coming soon. Thanks.